Hello, my name is Michaela O'Connor Abrams, founder of Mocha Plus. Welcome to our Collective Conscience series. We created this series for you to bring together great minds from around the world on myriad topics that we hope will expand your mind, will challenge your current beliefs, and give you an opportunity to be inspired with every video. Enjoy.
I'm Shelley Tatum-Kieran, partner at Mocha Plus, and we are astounded that we have done 40 of these consecutively. We've never missed a week. And so we're topping it off this week with a lovely, lovely planned little celebration. So without further ado, let's get going. Start this party. Michaela.
Okay. Well, I have to be a little bit redundant here and say getting through 40 weeks with great anticipation and joy and a little angst and a little, oh my God, how can we top that speaker? And to do it 40 times, I take my hat off to my business partner, Shelley Tatum-Kieran, for making sure that the puzzle pieces that we do when we create our magic together came together to do this. So thank you, Shelley, because wouldn't have happened without what we do together. Thank you. Now, this 12 Days of Christmas, you all know because you read our invitation, didn't have to be about Lords of Leaping and Maids of Milking and Seven Swans of Swimming. I personally was looking for the Lords of Leaping, but that's a whole nother Zoom salon that we'll do in 21. So each of you have interpreted your day as what will be your reflection for us. And for everybody else, you have the benefit of knowing that 10 of our stars at their brightest will share with us their own interpretation of each of those days. It is an amazing accomplishment to me that the people that joined us took their time and their talent and shared it with Collective Conscience and all of you. As this is our final one, we will be keeping you apprised of the cadence of Collective Conscience for 2021. I will tell you this, a little secret, it will not be weekly. It will be monthly. And there are other things of great import that will happen during the month alongside these Zoom salons. So without further ado, let's start with day one, A Partridge in a Pear Tree, which goes to our wonderful friend, the CEO of Iron Horse, Joy Sterling.
Well, my partridge in a pear tree is one in something. And so I got to be number one. And I actually leapt for it because I thought in many ways it's easier to go one because no one has any expectation whatsoever as to how this is going to go. But for my partridge in a pear tree, and it seems so incredibly fitting today, is that I wanted to be one hopeful person having lots of hope. And that is my number one thought, I guess, or adage for the 12 Days of Christmas for Michaela and Shelley.
Thank you so much, Joy. And moving to day number two, Two Turtle Doves and Eames Demetrios with your reflection.
You know, I think I had the Two Turtle Doves.
Oh,
did you?
I was game, but cool.
am so sorry, Beth. You certainly do. You see, this would not be Collective Conscience.
I thought you were lulling us into a false sense of security. So
that's
that's good.
Beth, please. Thank you very, very much, both of you, for the correction. Please.
So Two Turtle Doves is the gift of a love story. Did you all know that turtle doves mate for life? So this is the story of committed love. So I was reflecting on the notion of love and what that means in 2020. And I was wondering if any of you all remember this. If you were around in Northern California in 2017, our mantra became love is thicker than smoke. And at that time, it felt like your love had to be pretty thick to endure the wildfires, but it also brought us together. My husband and I, he's on here somewhere, we actually got engaged during those fires. But if love is thicker than smoke for wildfire season, what did love need to be thicker than for 2020? And the things I came up with was, in addition to being thicker than smoke, because we had smoky times again this year, love was thicker than staying at home. So all of us were at home in our nest with people that we love in a whole different way. So that was a test of our love. Love had to be thicker than skepticism. This is a year where it was questioning of everything that we knew and held dear. I'm lucky enough to work in the field of philanthropy, and one thing I say often to my team is we don't have the luxury of being skeptical in the field of giving, that you have to provide people hope. But this was a test, a love's test of skepticism. And sadly and finally, love had to be thicker than sickness. And so many people who lost their love this year. So I hope as we think about committed love, we could also think about love as a contagion. And for those of us who are lucky to have had love flourish this year, as this year draws to an end, think about the love that we have that we can give as well.
Wonderful, Beth. Thank you so, so very much. And our 3 French hens.
Hello, Michaela. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Holly.
And thank you for having myself, my daughter, and our puppy are in the background. And that is our theme. Instead of 3 French hens, it is 3 hearts a-glowing. My intention for 2020 was I wanted to grow through great love and great joy. Little did we know 6 weeks in that it would be a very interesting shade of great love and great joy. And I can honestly say the decision, based on my daughter's inability to be with other children this year for so much of it, she had planted this request in this dream 3 years ago to get a puppy. And I said, when you turn 10, so she happened to turn 10 during the pandemic, and I fulfilled on that dream. So she got to experience a dream come true this year for herself. She's with our little Gaia. Grayson, do you want to bring her over so we can show everyone? And just a few weeks ago, we were sitting on the couch and we were reading, and Gaia popped up. So she wasn't her spazzy puppy self, and she was there laying with us. Here, you can bring her over here so she can see. They can see them. And we realized, like, in this moment, my daughter said to me, "Mama, I feel that we're complete." So that the 3 of us were a family, and the fact that a 10-year-old could say that she feels complete in the midst of a pandemic where her friends were taken from her, her teachers were taken from her from a physical perspective, it just means so much to me. And I'm so grateful that we kind of reassemble the pieces here. So we have 3 hearts glowing right now, and we're so grateful for that.
Wonderful, Holly. Thank you so, so much. And now we go to Anthea and 4 calling birds.
Well, what was really interesting to me today is that I found out that it's also a collie bird. So one of the things that I was learning about the song again today was this notion of, well, I want to go figure out who these birds are. And I went online and I did some homework, and I realized that it's not only calling birds, but it is collie bird, C-O-L-L-Y. And I was struck by the notion of them being blackbirds. The collie stood for coal. I learned all these things about the song today and about the 4 birds. And so I was reflecting on how a simple assignment from Michaela in preparation for this afternoon and this evening turned into be something where a little vignette of magical learning. So my Magic in the Mundane, that's the name of my book today, was really about the magic of learning and something very, very simple, where we could suddenly, like, a whole world opens up where I suddenly find out all these things about the 4 birds. And the thing that struck me today is that with everything going on, I finally got out a little bit. My husband and I decided we were going to meet another couple for distance lunch. And we went to Sam's Chowder House today over by the coast. It was a crystal clear, gorgeous day, super warm. I had a glass of Brut Rosé, and I was remarking and thinking about how simple it is to just have a wonderful time and enjoy life's simple things. But what struck me as I got home and was looking up more about these birds is that 2 blackbirds arrived on our table today at lunch. And so to me, it's about the magic of learning simple things and always learning and always finding the magic in the mundane, with the notion that these 2 little blackbirds decided to join us on the table today. And so it's about finding magic in life's simple things.
Wonderful, wonderful, Anthea, thank you. And on to 5 golden rings, Liz Hudson.
5 golden rings. Okay, that's it. No, that song, you always have to sing 5 golden rings. Okay, it's got to be sung.
We got some songs.
My husband said that if talking were Olympic sport, I'd be on the dream team. So I have a lot of stuff I'm going to cover. So I'm going to go fast. Okay, 5 golden rings. Mine first starts out with this right here. This is yeah, it is actually is real gold. I don't think it came from Cracker Jacks. It's a golden ring. It's my wedding band. That's the basis for my life as a farmer's wife and a farmer's mother. We're partners in life, partners in business, and it just has given us the opportunity to do what we love to do, our passion, and that's growing food. The second golden ring. A ring is never ending. It's a never ending circle. That's how I describe my friendship with the lady who runs, one of the ones who runs this show, and glad to say I have a new friend in Shelley, but my friendship with Michaela is about as old as this ring is, and it's never ending, a never ending circle. She talked me into participating in this. I do not have the credentials like the rest of you do, but I've enjoyed our visits with each one of you and the blogs this summer, and I've had a lot of fun. I thank you. The third golden ring, buy produce when it's in season. Never trust a fresh peach in January. If you want a really good peach, don't buy one in January. You're going to have to wait till July. And trust me, it'll be worth the wait. The 4th golden ring is 5 down home nuggets from Hudson Farms. First one, shoot low, Sheriff, they're riding Shetlands. And what that means is be realistic in setting your sights. The second one, I use this phrase this summer to describe farmers as being more independent than a hog on ice. And some of you kind of go, huh? Well, just close your eyes and imagine for a minute seeing a big ass hog trying to cross a frozen pond. And you're going to go out and try to help that thing? There's no way in hell. So that's independent. Don't worry about it. He'll get across somehow. Number 3, around here, most things can be fixed with baling wire and duct tape. It's a good metaphor for each one of us to find our baling wire and our duct tape and keep both in your toolbox and keep it filled at all times. So if you need it, you got it. Number 4, any bad day can be fixed by driving a back road with the radio up loud, the windows down, and singing at the top of your lungs. And you know what, if you don't have a back road, trust me, try this on Highway 101 and you're gonna make so many people smile. They're gonna look at you and go, what the hell? But they're gonna smile because they're gonna have just as much fun as you are. So if you can't find a back road, do it on a major freeway and just have fun watching people. Number 5, of all the paths you take in life, make sure some of them are dirt. Good things come from the dirt. And my soils teacher at Cal Poly said, don't you ever call it dirt, it's soil. So good things come from soil. But you know what? Getting good and dirty means hard physical work. And that's good for the body and that's good for the soul. And then the 5th golden ring is, with Shelley and Michaela's help, we've identified the first 5 people who RSVP'd, and I'm going to send them a jar of jam that I made last week for Christmas. And lastly, I want to say for each one of you, What was that?
Lucky blokes.
Oh, you'll probably get some too, Shelley. Lastly, I just want to leave this with your thoughts. May each one of you have a better harvest next year. Every year we look to get in a better one next year. And I think all of us need a good harvest next year. Pray for a good crop, but don't forget to hoe. Merry Christmas and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. And we go from you to my fine friend Shanda with 6 geese a laying, but I have a feeling it doesn't include geese or eggs.
I just have to say, I'm a little pissed at Michaela. Why do I have to go after Liz? What did I do? This is something said. Anyway, all right. So I'm from the tech world, so wait for it. There's going to be a PowerPoint. All right. I'm going to share my screen if I can figure out how to do this. It worked great in dress rehearsal. Here we go. Share screen. There. Press. All right. 6. All right. So the number 6. So I thought you were going to say that it has nothing to do with geese and nothing to do with getting laid. Are both true. But the number 6 is a great number for me, other than having to go past Liz, after Liz, because it's a perfect number. 6 days of Christmas. So I got fixated on the 6 sixes. So this is 6 sixes that means something to me. First of all, it is a perfect number. It's the smallest perfect number. So for you math geeks out there, you know what I'm talking about. For everybody else, you don't really care. 6 also happens to be the sum of the digits of my current weight and my perfect weight. And I'm going to let you guys figure that out. 6 is the number of fingers on my left hand. Oh, wait. No, wrong movie. How many do I have left? Do I have 3 left? Okay, here we go. 6. Uh-oh. The devil, the perfect mascot for the hell that 2020 has been. Sorry, I couldn't be as uplifting as the rest of you, except to say, we got through it, and there is absolutely no way in hell that 2021 will not be a better year. So to sum up, 6 is a perfect number. It is. Oh, I missed my shoe size. How did I do that? Oh, it's my shoe size also. Before I had children.
Snorted, sorry. That was my first collective conscience snort.
I know, I did. When I was in high school, my shoe size was 6. And my older sisters both had size 5, and they convinced me that I had enormous feet.
Awful.
That was my childhood wound. I got over it. Anyway, so perfect number, my shoe size, current and perfect weight, and the perfect mascot for a hell of a year.
Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. All right. I have then, let's leave me. 7 swans are swimming. Ready?
Ready.
Charlie, take it away.
So I was debating what to talk about for our 7 swans, and as I'm sitting here in the corner of my living room in the new home I just moved into, I couldn't get past the 7-foot tall bubblegum pink Christmas tree. And so I'm going to share with you the story of the 7-foot tall bubblegum Christmas tree and how this came to live in my home unexpectedly recently. But when we talk about the swans a swimming, I've been thinking a lot about the field of positive psychology and what those swans are swimming on. I think this year, sometimes they've been swimming on a swamp and sometimes they've been swimming on a pond. And so I'm going to give you a few invitations as I share this brief story with you. And my first invitation is to maybe type into the comments a little something from the swamp, meaning what is one thing that's not so great right now? Bear with me, I promise there's a light at the end of this tunnel, but what's one thing, and COVID is an obvious one, right? That maybe is not perfect in the world or within your world. What's some area where you wish that there was some progress or things could be a little bit different? Take a beat while I share a little bit about this story and type in a word or a phrase that comes up. So about a month ago, my mom experienced a loss and was going through a period of grief. And she calls me in the middle of this and says, Carly, you need to see this pink tree I just found online. Isn't this the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? And I said, wow, Mom, it's something. Yeah, it's something. She said, don't you need to have this in your new home? I said, well, no, not exactly. I'm a little bit of a minimalist. Oh, but I'll order this for you. I'll get this for you. And I said, Mom, thank you so much. I know where you're coming from here, but I'm good. I don't need a 7-foot tall pink tree right now. She said, okay, I hear you. So a week later, the tree shows up on my doorstep. And here I am hauling this thing into the house by myself. It's shedding artificial pink tinsel everywhere. It takes me an entire Saturday afternoon to set up my mother's grief tree in my living room. And if you think I was resentful, I was. And here I am setting this entire thing up, dealing with the swamp of what's supposed to be a kind gesture, but it's not what I wanted. And it was not what I was looking for. And so as I look here in the comments at some of our swamp moves, the climate, grieving a breakup, a vague and unknowable future. I want to go out to dinner and sit inside, family suffering. I appreciate your kindness, Dana. Authoritarians and political discord and danger. And I just wanted to take a beat and acknowledge the realness of that that's all true. The swamp is real, right? Sometimes the swans are swimming in a swamp. So I finished setting up this tree and my 2 toddler nephews come in just as I'm wrapping the final lights around, and they walk in the door. They're 2 and 3 years old, and they gaze up in wonder at the magnificence of this bubblegum 7-foot tall tree, 3 times their height, right? And I begin to see it through their eyes, and I begin to see the beauty of the light filling the room, and my resentment starts to fade into just a shred of joy. And there's some part of me that can appreciate the fact that even though I didn't ask for this thing, there's something beautiful here. And so I'd love if you want to take a moment to type into the comments, what's something that is good in your world? And this doesn't have to be the silver lining. It doesn't have to be the opposite. Sometimes the swamp is one thing and the pond is something else. Rachel said, my son making music is good. Regina, my nieces, yes, keep typing them in. So what we know from the field of positive psychology is that those people who are resilient, who thrive during difficult times, they find a way to acknowledge the swamp and put their toes in the pond just a little bit every day. And so I see here love pouring in. I see the birds and the stars, my sourdough focaccia. Yes, please, Drew. Utterly new possibilities, the existence of Minecraft, my mom, live streaming yoga from home, puppies. Oh my gosh, the list just goes on. I hope that you'll read all of these. I love how we as a group are so easy in finding the pond. And so my invitation to you, my last one as we wrap up this year, is to give ourselves a little bit of extra grace. I know most Januaries feel like a fresh start, right? It feels like a clean new time. And I think we need a slightly longer bridge of grace this year between 20 and 21. It's not all going to be different on January 21st, but we can reach a little farther for the pond. And so I leave you with the last thought around, what is your 7-foot tall bubblegum Christmas tree? What does that look like this year? What is the thing that showed up on your doorstep? You said an outright no to it. You weren't interested. And yet here it is. And where's the beauty and the wonder that we've been cultivating together so beautifully? Thank you to Michaela and Shelley for giving us a way to create connection and find a pond together. Thank you.
Thank you, Carly, so much. And, you know, messy and magnificent. We'll probably have lots of new participants because that's the way that you framed it was magnificent. Thank you. And we go on to 8 Maids of Milking with my friend, Mr. Lee.
8 Maids of Milking. You know, I thought I was number 3. So, hey. And because I don't know the song all that well, I would have loved to have Lords of Leaping, but hey, 8 Maids of Milking. Milk is something we start every morning off with. So I want to bring and share with you 8 things from Horizon Community School in Marin City, early childhood program that Marin Horizon created for Marin City families. And the first is, since COVID, we're open. We've served more than 40 families, graduated 12 5-year-olds into kindergarten back in June, and stayed open with no issues. COVID, socially distanced, masked up. everything's working out. 3 cohorts of kids. Secondly, the staff, who's actually dealing with 2 pandemics. They're dealing with the COVID pandemic, and they're dealing with traumas that from the families they work with, and are working cohesively. Number 3, we're in the process of raising funds for a brand new building that'll house 3 classrooms, so that if we stay in COVID, instead of serving 10, we can serve 20 per class. So we are raising funds to move that forward. 4, I'm fortunate to have a healthy family. You know, I got 5 kids. Everybody's healthy. 5, I work with a group of people to keep Horizon Community School moving forward. And each one of them is a special gift for the families in Marin City. 6, partnerships. For me, it's about creating partnerships, whether they're with your funders or your families or even churches. Partnerships are better than collaboration, because when you're a partner with somebody, you look out for each other, and you continue to always look out for each other. 7, community. I am happy to be part of this community right now. Thank you, Michaela and Shelley, for inviting me. But community is wherever you are. And you have to recognize, they say it takes a village to raise a child. You got to recognize all the folks in your community. And I always try to do that. And then 8, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. I'm gonna finish up with bubble gum. And 7, Horizon Community Schools, that's my bubble gum every day. It's sticky and messy and gooey and lickable and lovable. And it tastes good too, even if it comes from somebody else. 6, I remember when I was a size 6 shoe. That was a long, long time ago. But I do remember it, and I remember it well. 5, the golden rings. It's about partners and looking for a better harvest. Thank you for that. 4, it's about the magic, creating the magic, knowing that we all have magic and share your magic. We give magic and share magic. 3, hey, I got a gift that I wasn't expecting. I got a puppy.
Wow.
A bull mastiff. So it ain't a puppy for long. I fought against this puppy, by the way, because I knew who was going to do all the cleaning up. But now I got a puppy. My kids think they have one. 2, uh-oh, and I lost my 2. Oh, love. Love. Love is the start to unity. So 2 and 1. Love starts, unity is all of us. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Stevie, so, so much. And we, all of you who do not live in Marin or Northern California know of Horizon Community School, happy to tell you more and to connect you with Stevie. It's one extraordinary program that took a long, long time to build so carefully and thoughtfully. And now finally, we will be on the road to the proper early education in just one really important place. All right, 9, Lords a-Leaping. I wish you'd send them over here, Eames, but tell me how you are interpreting it. Unmute.
I gotta say, it's always been a little dicey in this song. The 9s and the 11s pretty much were pretty interchangeable. There were lords, there were ladies. It was a little, but I kind of like, I went with a little more numerological. And I think I guess the thing that I wanted to start with is that it has been a difficult year. You know, I think for it very psychologically, very draining for everybody. Almost no matter what you think of the world, you know, or what your politics are. It's been really exhausting for lots of people. And so I feel lucky that I was able to do something a little bit light at the end of this year. And so I thought the reason I asked for the or said I could do something for 9, I had something for 7 too, but was that I thought we could do we have 9 cookie cutters. We can do a countdown. It won't be as eloquent as Stevie's countdown, so I got to already say that. But and all these cookies are words from the parallel world, and they're shape words, and they're from a culture that was biologically aquatic. And I think that what I think so much we have to do in the next few years is look at the world fresh, think about things in a whole new way, and challenge our assumptions, and not destructively challenge, sometimes destructively, but not meanly, but for really taking things apart and making them better. And I think it's going to be really hard work. And so one of there are people who are biologically aquatic, and they live in areas where their oxygen vents are so intense that they have to breathe. They can breathe the water, and so, but they can't talk underwater, because we all tried to talk when we were kids, right? In the swimming pool, didn't go well. You know, there's very little Sophocles performed underwater. So there's a reason for that. So these people learned how to use their minds to psychoform shapes. And then after the conversations were over, the fish would eat the shapes, and so that's why they call them schools of fish. But that's another story. So what we're so this is one of the shapes. So I was thinking this when Carly was talking. This is a shape word that means unintended consequences, and it's really a cool one because it actually looks like a cookie. So the unintended consequences come easily, and then you count down to love. This is 9. There are 9 vertices on it, and this is the shape of love. And we need more of that every single moment. We have to also challenge our old definitions of love, and whether we can parse it out more in a more lovely way. Then of course, this is a song. So we're doing this all based on a song. And then a village, you know, you said it, sometimes people say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, there's a village also. And a village is the place where the dreams of imaginary creatures come to life. And sometimes I think it takes a village to raise a child too. And then there's the moon, the texture of the moon. This is the luminous texture of textures. And so all of these shapes are ones that if you lived underwater, you would be able to conjure up in your mind. And so it's a good vocabulary. And then this is the purest, happiest place, which is where we all want to go. The purest, happiest moment. And then somebody mentioned tenderness, and this is the shape of tenderness. And all these cookies bring you extra power. And then there's family. And the last is this, the treasured one, Zejurai. And we should all be the treasured one. And we should all be the ones who treasure. We should be the treasuring ones, and we should be the treasured ones. So that's nine somethings for this song.
Wow. Eames, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For those of you who were not part of the series with Eames and the Parallel Universe Chimerics there, and these incredible cookie cutters and this alternate universe, please do let us know if you would like to be connected, because it is beyond worth exploring, especially in the world in which we are living. It is so real and so important as it opens our minds to possibilities and realities that go beyond the confines of what we have all come to know. So I challenge you to do that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Eames. All right.
Thanks for including me. This was fun.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Duskie, over to you for 10.
Oh, I think I am Lords of Leaping. I know you really want those Lords leaping. And it's really funny because my family has a tradition. My husband's family is in New York, and it's a large Irish Catholic family. So Christmas is always 75 people. And we have a tradition on Christmas Eve of singing this song in rounds, and everybody is divided into teams and is given a number, and it's very loud and raucous, and everyone holds up their paper. So when you asked us to make a paper, I feel like I'm the only one who did.
And you follow directions. Thank you.
So I did here. So I can see. Here, there we go.
10.
Okay. And I thought that we were actually going to have to sing. So like I came up with a whole story like everybody else did, talking about 10 random acts of kindness. But then I thought we only were going to be able to say our thing and sing it. And so I didn't come up with a whole story like all of you then, because I threw that original story away, and then I drew my picture for you. So I run a nonprofit called Farm to Pantry, and we glean produce from farms that would otherwise go wasted, and we take it to people in need. This year, we have gleaned over 200,000 pounds of produce, which is over 800,000 servings, with 300 volunteers on 250 properties. So it's been an incredible year, because as many of you know, in Sonoma County, I don't know what it is in Marin, and I don't know what it is in your community, but in Sonoma County, 1 in 3 is facing food insecurity right now. So what we always try to do in our family when we don't see hope is random acts of kindness, because that provides hope for me when I see random acts of kindness, which these 300 volunteers who have gone out into the fields to give of their labor to provide food for others, those are random acts of kindness. Or the farmers that planted so that they could give their labor and their land to somebody else, like Joy. Joy, thank you for giving of your land and your labor to feed others. But so what I challenge you to do in your holiday season, in addition to whatever gift giving and loving that you're giving your family members, is to do 10 random acts of kindness for somebody else. Thank you.
Thank you, Duskie, so much. And listen, I think that, things work out the way they're supposed to. And that was powerful and wonderful. And I'm so glad that you also put the URLs there, and we'll make sure that those go into chat so that everybody is aware of that. And for that matter, please know each of you will make sure that everybody on this collective conscience tonight gets each of the URLs, emails, links that you would like them to have, because everybody, I think, is sharing in the joy that is coming together tonight on so many levels. And wow, it's even more powerful than I thought it would be. And now to drum roll, almost to 12 drummers drumming. And thank you, by the way, you were right. It was 9 maids of milking. I was so damn excited about the Lords of Leaping, I just moved them forward. Anyway, so without further ado, Shelley, Tatum, Karen, take on 11, please.
Well, okay, I got the number 11. And I'm going to do sort of a top 10, top 11 list, 11 things that made my life an 11 in 2020. And the first is that my partner is an 11. And let me explain that to you. In the movie The Spinal Tap, which I hope many of you have seen, in the movie Spinal Tap, there's a great scene where Nigel, the lead singer, who's played by Christopher Guest, is showing Rob Reiner the amplifiers in his collection, and he's saying, look at this, they all go up to 10. They all go up to 11. This one goes up to 11. It's 11. And Rob Reiner says, well, but don't they always go up to 10? And he says, no, but these go up to 11. He goes, well, why can't you play at your loudest at 10? And Nigel just looks at him completely perplexed and says, but then how could you get to 11? And that sums up my experience in being a partner with Michaela, because I think of her as always reaching for that next thing, always 10 just won't do. 10 is just not enough. And any of you who know her know I'm speaking the truth over here. So number 10, the upgrade. So our work life started out beautifully this year. We were on a lark. We went to Palm Springs for a big program. We were so excited. We breezed into town. We had wonderful accommodations. We slept in the same bed several nights in a row, which was completely different from the first time we went down there. We drove down there in a monsoon. We were like fishtailing on the grapevine. We get there, we switch, it's flooded, Palm Springs. We switch hotels 6 times in 1 week. We emptied garbage in our party dresses behind a Wells Fargo with a bunch of homeless people. And we were doing sandwich runs. And we drove out of Palm Springs that first year and we thought, something has got to change. So I'm here to tell you that the difference between year 1 and year 2 was spectacular. The third is, the ninth, I beg your pardon, is the middle finger. And that is in that I'm bringing up 3 examples from a really work highlight that I'm going to remember forever. And we pulled off a really, really incredible conversation series. Against all odds, we had a David and Goliath situation. We were the renegades in the scene. We were competing against the old timers and the politics, and we put together this really amazing conversation series with interesting people, warm, lovely, present, educated, informed. It was a wonderful, wonderful conversation series. So that was a highlight for me. I was proud of that. And then again, of course, number 8 is the cool breeze of waltzing around the Kirk Douglas estate, as if we owned the joint with, several days on end and planning parties and inviting people over and lying on chaise and really living it up a little. So those are some highlights for me. Number 7 is harsh landing. Facing the gloom of a suddenly harsh COVID landscape, we took the new warped timescape and created this series. And I'm not trying to humble brag or even overtly brag. I just am expressing my amazement, really, when you look back on doing something together and how it came together and how beautifully it has coalesced. And this evening is an example of that. Really, everything came to a screeching halt for us, and we really had to come up with a different solution, and we pivoted with humor, as we always do. Number 6 is busting out. This is in my personal life. I actually got onto an RV vehicle. This would never have happened. I got into an RV and went on a family camping trip, vacation. I inherited, my father was just hopeless he would just stand around in any situation like that and everyone would set up camp. That's what I did. But where my value really lies is in that I make amazing meals on the road. So that's why they keep me around. But other than that, but I did get in it. That was a departure and actually a wonderful experience doing it that way. Number 5 is settling in. And I really found that the COVID, we created in this home, I have a husband and my son who's 13 and our dog. We just kind of came into this beautiful coexistence in a confined space. We were together apart. We were spinning sometimes. We were stressing. There were meltdowns. But we were powering through, and our house has evolved into an entirely different ecosystem. And there's warmth and there's harmony, and we're together in this. And we do it with a lot of love. And I'm so glad to keep hearing that word mentioned, because it's certainly what drives and fuels me. Let's see, 4, Schitt's Creek was one of the best parts of 2020. It never sucked. Ew, not once. Number 3, does anybody really know? And I think embracing uncertainty in 2020 has provided, 2020 has provided an unprecedented opportunity to embrace uncertainty, to sit with it, to be okay with it, and to kind of roll a little bit. And for me, that was an unusual thing to do in a professional situation, and certainly in a personal. I learned a lot. And I feel like learning to settle down into isolation, to slow down, to be still, to listen, that's about more than conversations and confidences. It's about feeling better connected. And the number 1 thing for me, which is always the thing, is love. And my friendship and partnership with Michaela is extraordinary. It's an extraordinary thing. and it is fueled by love. It's fueled by a common respect and adoration, really, deep understanding, and a lot of laughs, but most of all, it's fueled by love. And we've been through some difficult times, and we've made it through, and we talk to each other with love and respect, and it's an amazing partnership. So I just wanted to end on that note.
Wow. Okay, well, I kind of feel like Shanda going after Liz. This is really hard, going after you, my friend. 12, drummers drumming. So the number 12, by the way, is significant for so many reasons, all of which you have each of you have explored in some way, but not the least of which in numerology, right, is the number of completeness. So how fitting is that we complete 40 weeks of a forum for thought, for inspiration, for knowledge, humor, and peace, at least for an hour. Well, I could go on and do an entire presentation based on my research of this auspicious number. I'll focus on a dozen. But that's the same thing, you say. Well, now, if it's a baker's dozen, it isn't. But we don't have a 13th, of course. So I'll add one at the end of my few minutes for good measure. Number one, the very idea, the audacity that we could gather brilliant minds from around the country to begin our week, to share our wealth and the wealth each of you bring to this forum and this community. Number two, the silver lining of COVID for Collective Conscience was the weekly gathering on Zoom rather than the USA tour that we had planned in all of these iconic places, one a month. So we'd only be celebrating 12 today. Interesting. Three, the chance to explore and express gratitude at a profound level. The deeper and richer understanding of resilience. The alternate universe, offering a reality for the ultimate expression of wonder and possibility. The revisiting, once and for all, praise God, of our need, our requirement to bring everybody to the table of plenty. The reinvention of work, play, and almost everything else, the chance to create a better way, a better place, a better path for each of us and for everybody who comes after us. The talents and treasures we all possess, but perhaps did not tap until we were forced to. The time for reflection, uncomfortable and yet purposeful. A partnership par excellence. Shelley Tatum Kieran. You hold yourself and therefore everyone, Shelley, in a light that shines through the best and the worst of times. The chance to give and give again to each person in my life so that they can know and feel my love and my gratitude. And 13, my baker's dozen. Shelley, we made magic together for the last 2 years, and the chapters yet to be written about our friendship are to be lived, written, and read together. Love you, and love all of you for being a part of our 40 weeks of Collective Conscience. Thank you so, so much. And I will go back to Shelley so she may do her thanks to all of you for making this possible for all of us.
Yeah, I'm just really moved by that. And I feel like looking at all these faces that we've come to know, and you know, all of you are so different and spectacular and unusual, and you know, it's just incredible that we could weave this fabric of people from all different backgrounds. It's exactly what we hoped would happen, and we're so grateful to all of you for showing up as many times as you have. Drew, I still think you're our MVP, but I don't know, Shanda and Anthea and Linda, we've got a lot of MVPs, and Helen, I see a lot of them here, but I'm so grateful to all of you for being on this ride with us.
It's been extraordinary. And we will move into 21. And I think that, Carly, you said it, a few of you mentioned it. This is going to be not okay. It's January 21 and out goes 20 and it's a new year. And yes, it will be, but it will be a longer bridge. But all that we have learned and all that we have shared and brought together, hopefully inspired each of you to be able to think of the recreation and the reinvention and the alternate universes and all the ways in which we can grow so much better, so much happier, and through so much love for all that we have in and for each other. So I thank you so, so very much again. And we will get to you via email and let you know what will happen in 21, where we will be, where to tune in, and what to watch and what to click on. Thank you so, 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 so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Michaela.
Michaela. Perfect.